We want to give our children everything. We want to give our wives everything.
It's our responsibility as men to provide the path.
Am I called to be a coach of athletes and help them make millions of dollars? Or am I being called to raise my daughters?
We have to control our words around others and separate the needs from the wants.
I've never felt rewarded from helping an athlete win a world title compared to sitting quietly on the couch with my daughter.
I am so eager to defend Jesus. I try to take charge.
They're disavowing that for these more carnal pleasures.
Jesus is all that we need. 1, 2, 3. Mike Dolce, you are back.
Yes, happy to be back once again.
Round 2.
Oof.
You're back on the See the King podcast.
Yes, thank
Again,
you.
it's a live Bible study. You know, we are going to learn, we're going to grow, and we're going to try to become better Christians and be the light God intended us to be.
Amen.
Here we are. Today, we're going straight into Simon Peter. So when I was reading Matthew last time,
Yes.
Simon Peter, I just kind of got this thought that, and I mean, I've seen The Chosen, I've seen a lot of these shows, but it just feels like as I read, he is so eager to please God.
Yeah.
And he's so eager in the way that he overpromises. And we're looking at some common themes of Simon Peter throughout Matthew today. But I just can't help but think we need to spend some time on this because it's going to play into our personal lives a lot, of people pleasing and God pleasing instead of just following his path.
Yeah.
So I'm going to jump around in Matthew. But before I do, anything to add, anything you want to get off of your chest to talk about?
No.
You good?
I am wonderful.
How do you like Ohio, by the way?
Well, Ohio is a big state.
How do you like Cincinnati?
Cincinnati is better than expected.
All right. What did you expect?
I expected a lot more openness for some reason. But no, I mean, it's gorgeous where we're sitting right now.
We're just now getting to the openness.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more surrounding, like where you flew in. Yeah, you're not going to see a lot of openness. But as you keep going, it gets more and more open.
Yeah.
So,
and it was cool driving in from the airport through the outskirts of Cincinnati proper.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, oh, this is actually a very nice city from the outside. I wasn't on the street, so I don't know. But I'm familiar with New York, which is...
Yeah, New York.
It's a war zone.
It's New York.
Okay. Is Cincinnati...
No, it's not New York.
Not New York. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank God. But I like it. I like the end. The weather's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's beautiful here.
Yeah.
So, and it's my family's here. You know what I mean? We're Midwest.
That's it.
So, now that we've like accomplished that, diving into this. So this was the note. I want to say this because this was the note I had when I was reading. Simon Peter had such a desire to please Jesus. He made promises that he could not keep. We all do this, right? So let's go through his journey of overpromise. And what's cool is like he's open. Like when you see what he writes or what he guides that's written in the Bible, like he acknowledges like, the positives and the negatives of his life. And so it's beautiful. So, I mean, he's a disciple of Christ. So as we're not looking at this as a negative way, we're looking at this to learn from him.
Absolutely.
You could write a pretty long book of people that could learn from my mistakes. Yeah. So it's not an intention to bash or beat down or say, oh man, you did this. Like I want to learn from his experiences so I don't repeat that same mistake.
Absolutely.
Right. So first place I'm going to Matthew 4, verse 18. And this is when he's called by Jesus. And this is more of just setting the stage. As Jesus was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon called Peter and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come, follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. At once they left their nets and followed him. I'm going to call out a specific couple words here. It says, at once they left him.
At once, yeah.
It wasn't like, hey, let me go check. Let me think about it. At once, immediately they left. Yep. And I feel like that's Simon Peter. As we jump to a couple other phrases here, a couple other passages, I should say, he does things at once because he's passionate, he's eager, and I think his heart's in the right place, which is why in the end Jesus comes back and says, hey man, like, it's okay. Yeah. Right. But let's follow that path because I do that. Like I make decisions in haste sometimes and they aren't the best decision. Like usually the best decision is a well thought out plan. Yeah. And following Jesus is an at once statement, but there's a big separation in overpromising and following Jesus at once.
Absolutely.
Right. And so we're on the overpromise stage right now.
Yeah.
So I'm skipping straight ahead to Matthew 16, verse 13. And this is when Peter his confession of Christ. Like, this is a well-known passage, both Christian and Catholic, probably interpreted a little bit different, but it's impactful.
Yeah.
So when it says in verse 13, when Jesus came to the region of, how do I say that? Do you want to look up how to say that? Do you know how to say it? I love doing this.
Caesarea?
This is one of my favorite things. So check this out. How do you pronounce? Can you spell for me?
Caesarea.
Yeah, listen to this. This is the funniest thing. If I can find it. You never know what voice you're going to get.
How to pronounce Caesarea?
I would not have said it that way.
So no.
Caesarea.
Caesarea.
Does this know every word? What is this?
This is just YouTube.
Oh, YouTube knows everything.
I know. So I wouldn't have said that.
No.
When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, I think it's Philippi. Philippi? Goodness, man. Are we doing this again?
Philippi.
Let's do it again. So just so we get it right.
Philippi.
All right.
You're right. You got it.
Philippi. All right. Enough of this.
Yeah.
When Jesus came to the region of, is it Caesarea?
Yes.
Philippi. He asked his disciples, "Who do people say the Son of Man is?" They replied, "Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and still others, Jeremiah or one of the prophets." So I look at this and disciples are kind of beating around the bush.
Yeah.
There's not a definitive statement. It's be like you saying, "What's the weather?" And instead of me telling you it's sunny and 80 degrees, it's, well, some people think it could be cloudy.
Yeah.
Or some people think that the sun is halfway shining through, and some people feel like it's 75. That's not a definitive statement.
Yes.
Right. And so Jesus comes back in verse 15. "But what about you?" He asked. "Who do you say I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God."
Yep.
Boom. Right. I just see him in the moment. Everyone else is doubting him. I'll step up. I'll say this. I think you're the Christ.
Yep.
No beating around the bush. And that's a double-edged sword in my mind. It's the right thing to say at the right time. But because I know what comes, when he makes a promise to Jesus, I just have in this thought of he's going to overpromise. This tells me a little bit about his personality. I'll be the one to step up.
Yeah.
Right.
And say what he wants to hear. I'm going to please him. Right.
Right. I think he believes it.
Yes. Most likely he does believe it, but also he's saying what Jesus wants to hear, or what Jesus is fishing for, searching for,
sure,
possibly, and I'm saying this because, to your point, it's aligned with his personality, telling the person in front of you what they want to hear. So do I suspect he does not believe that? No. But it's also, it makes sense with his personality.
Right. And when we have Simon Peter, I mean, we're making a lot of assumptions.
Of course.
So I don't want this to be portrayed as, oh man, he's an overpromiser. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is this is a man that the first two times like we're talking about this, he has strong resolve.
Yeah.
Right. And he leaves that once. He is the one saying, "You are the Christ."
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
Yeah.
Right. But I feel that, because I'm a similar way. And when you talk about Jesus, I am so eager to defend Jesus that because I don't think through my faith and I let pride overcome like what Jesus can accomplish, I try to take charge.
That's right.
And it's like somebody's knocking Jesus. "Well, no, you're wrong." Instead of like, "Well, why are they knocking? Let's break this down," because my goal isn't to tell them they're wrong. My goal is to bring them to Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what hit me with this is I want to just hammer them and just say, "No, you're wrong, man. Like, here's why you're wrong."
Yeah.
But that's not what Jesus does. Jesus would say, "I love you.
Yeah.
Let me explain." Right?
Gentle.
Yes.
Humble.
Yes.
Patient. Right?
Yes,
Right.
exactly. Last episode.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, man. So we have 2 instances so far where he has been a resounding, leaves at once.
Yep.
You are Christ, when everyone else is saying, well, some people say this.
Yeah.
Right. So now we're going to get to the meat of it. So we know we have a passionate Simon Peter. I mean, Peter translated as the rock.
Yeah.
So we have somebody who is strong and passionate.
Yep.
Right. And so we're gonna move forward. So Matthew 26. Oh, I'm skipping ahead, aren't I? I think I just pulled out one of my markers here. What do I have here?
26:31.
Yeah, 26:31. I'm sorry. Jesus predicts Peter's denial. Then Jesus told them, "This very night you will all fall away on account of me, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered. But after I have risen, I will go ahead of you into Galilee." Peter replied, "Even if all fall away on account of you, I never will." And just for clarification, this is Matthew 26:31 through 33.
Yes.
This is an overpromise because he loves Jesus.
Yes.
Because he wants to defend Jesus. Because he has, it's a pride and ego, as you mentioned before,
Yeah.
right? I will never leave Jesus.
Yeah. And is it in a way, and maybe we do this sometimes, we say things to give ourselves courage? And
Interesting. Yeah.
so could he be saying this to help solidify his own resolve in light of the circumstances around them, trying to, I said it, therefore I have to live up to it. Oh my goodness, like this is scary. And, to give him some grace, maybe that's a possibility.
Yeah.
So I could see myself doing that in that situation.
Yeah.
I'll never abandon ship, let's say, or whatever the thing might be.
Yeah.
But in your heart, you're like, I want to get a lifeboat right now and get out of here, right? Because that's the human frailty in us.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that in our lives, right? Let's talk about it in businesses. I mean, we've all been involved in businesses where it's like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like we're all in, we're going to push this thing through no matter what it takes.
Yep.
And then you're in 6 months in or 9 months in, be like, oh man, like maybe that was the wrong decision.
Yeah.
But I've committed and I've said that we're doing this.
Yeah.
And then it ends up being to your demise.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing. Like one of the worst things I can do to my wife and my kids is promise them something I can't follow through with.
Yes.
And it's out of love. So, wife, like I am going to do all the dishes today. I'm going to give you a massage. I'm going to take care of everything.
Yeah.
You just relax. And my intentions are good. I love her. I want to do those things. But then like maybe something happens where I can't. I don't know what the example might be, but maybe like the kids have to be somewhere I didn't know.
Yeah.
Or something like that. All of a sudden I've overpromised and now I've let my wife down. I've set a false expectation, but my intentions were good.
Yeah.
But it's out of the love, right? And I think that's what's happening here is I've overpromised. I've given 2 situations, but Simon Peter overpromised, but his intentions were good.
Yeah.
Right.
He intended to live up to it.
Yeah.
But, humans are weak and flawed.
Right. So I guess the same thing I do is take a step back before you say something so bold.
Yeah.
Even if your intentions are good, can this really be accomplished? And the best way to start with that is like, can I do this through God? Like, is God going to ordain this? Is this God's plan or is this my plan?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so as we continue here, it goes on in verse 34. Jesus says, "I tell you the truth, this very night before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times.
Yeah.
But Peter declared, even if I have to die with you, I will never disown you. And all the other disciples said the same. So he doubles down.
Yeah.
Right. But not only does he double down, but he is so confident that the other disciples come with him.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a risk for us.
Yeah.
And overpromising is if we show a confidence in something that we can't back up, we can bring others down with us.
Good point.
And I've done that a lot. I'm ashamed to say that, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing with like business or family. Like, guys, we got this. Like, I'm going to make sure this gets done, but I don't really have the power to make sure it gets done. And they all believe me.
Yeah. and they trust in your leadership or your character, your abilities, right? And your word.
Right.
And there's a lot of responsibility to that.
Yeah.
And then we have to temper our ability to follow through and deliver with what we're actually promising.
Yeah.
Right. And to put it in a manner that aspires to be successful. If, in this circumstance, Peter said, Jesus, I will do my best to be by your side, give me the strength to be by your side, God willing. Well, that's a much more accurate statement where he's actually would be aware of his flaws and limitations. And I think for us, as husbands and fathers and operators, the ability to I'm going to do everything in my power to make this thing happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to put into words what's in my brain, which oftentimes doesn't come out the right way, but I'm going to give it a shot here,
Okay,
right?
let it swirl.
He has a desire to please Jesus, and his desire is from his flesh, which is a really interesting situation when your desire for something holy is from the flesh, and enter ego and enter pride, thinking you have the capability, right, to accomplish what your flesh wants, even if it's for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So that's exactly to the point you just said.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that's, again, that's ego.
Yes.
And to your point, and it's something I always fall back on. I'm constantly trying to vanquish my ego.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as men, we all need to spend time doing that, because that will always get us into trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
Every time
it gets us into trouble. And, so the awareness of that, it's did I do that because of my ego? And I always say, I'm my own work. I was at a pivotal road inside my career. I was, doing this thing with the UFC athletes, and I was rather well known, and I was micro famous in that world, and I had a lot of opportunity, and, career was up on an upward trajectory. And I reached a point in my own career at the birth of my first daughter, and I looked at my life and I said, well, boy, if I continue on in this path, I will be even busier and more successful as a coach, as a professional, my career.
Right.
But I will be less successful as a father. And I was at this crossroads, and I had to vanquish my own ego in order to do the right thing. And that was, what is my role? Am I called to be a coach of athletes and help them make millions of dollars? Or am I being called to raise my daughters and be the head of my household?
Right.
And I had to vanquish my ego, because I always thought I was building this monument to myself on this one path. And the other path, I was completely eliminating myself from the equation. And I was becoming the vessel to help raise my family, which in a way is also the ego speaking too.
Right.
Right. I'm so important. I can be important here, but I think it's just me being honest and speaking about it.
Yeah.
So the decision, of course, was I had to go all in as a dad to be a present father, raise my daughters, and then left that world of the limelight to then fall into obscurity from a professional perspective, one might say. So I could be home and raise my daughters and be the head of household and help, follow God's will. And that is the way I see it. I was actually called back to my family to be there for them, kind of, mixed up into all of this.
Can I pick your brain on this a little bit?
Of course.
Because I think this is applicable to so many men trying to succeed, in their professional life, is how do you decipher when you're providing financially and when you need to provide in your home?
Yeah.
Like, how do you figure that out? Right?
Yeah. Great question. And for me, we must provide needs, not wants. Mm-hmm. And I know of many men, I work with many men who are very successful, and their life is out of alignment, and they're so focused on their business that their health suffers, and their family life, interpersonal relationships suffer, and other aspects of their life might suffer, but they're making more money than they've ever made. Mm-hmm. And I always laugh because I was there in a way, right? And the pursuit of another zero on your paycheck, that often does nothing for your family. So when men say, oh, I'm providing for my family, it's like, wait a minute, you have a roof, you have heat and electricity, you have food on the table, you have health insurance to protect them. What more do you need to provide? Like there is some long-term security we can think about, but that's, simply living below your means, investing intelligently, taking care of some of these aspects. So, and I think for all men, there is a number. Is it $50,000 a year? Probably not. Is it $500,000 a year? I think you far exceeded how much you need to truly provide for your family. Yeah. And much of that then becomes ego gratification. Look how much money I've made. Look at the monuments that we build to ourselves. So for me, and it's individual based upon the family, but your family needs your time more than anything. Our families need our leadership, our mentorship, our counsel. That's what they need. They don't need us to be outside the home building a bridge or something else. Yeah. So for me, that was my take. And I'm a little biased because I kind of went through a little bit of that myself, and I've experienced the great reward. I've never felt rewarded from helping an athlete win a world title when compared to just sitting quietly on the couch with my daughter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the wisdom speaks because you said to recognize the difference or decipher the difference between need and want.
Yes.
Boom. That is it. And tying it to this, to believe that you are going to be able to do both all in is an overpromise. Yeah. You cannot go all in and provide here and think that you can go all in and provide here.
Yes.
So finding the balance, it's hard. It is super hard. And I struggle with it still, right? What is the balance? And most men do, right? I think you have a really good grasp on setting up the barriers of this is too far, right? I've learned a lot from you in that way. And that's actually one of my struggles right now is what would be enough? Yeah. Versus if you live in abundance, that's already enough. Yeah. But it just clicked with me. I'm learning a lot right now from you of need versus want. Yeah. Here in Jesus's prediction of Peter's denial, we can apply that. So Jesus didn't need Peter to promise him he would be there.
Yeah.
Peter wanted it. He wanted to be there for God. But Jesus doesn't need us.
Yeah.
As much as we want to defend him.
Yeah.
So it applies.
It
applies.
And for the parents and the dads out there, the need versus want is we want to give our children everything. We want to give our wives everything. But many of the things that they may want is not what's best for them. Mm-hmm. So we then need to give them what they need. And oftentimes they need no. They need boundaries. They need delayed gratification. They need structure. They need a more arduous path for their own success or enlightenment. Mm-hmm. And for us as men, as fathers, as husbands, it's up to us to then make the harder decision to say no, because it's very easy to say, yes, you can have your iPad. Yes, you can eat ice cream for breakfast. Yes, yes, yes. You'd be happy. But the answer has to be no. And that's a harder answer for us. So to, add that to the conversation is, do they need that? Is that a need? Am I doing them a good deed? Am I helping them by saying yes to this or providing this thing?
Yeah.
It's like providing your child an iPad at the dinner table is often not a good thing, right? Long term, I'll just kind of use that as a small little example.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting too. And I really like this conversation. Being a provider does not just mean financially, right? We need to provide a road to success for our families and for others. So if God has set them on a path, it's our responsibility as men to provide the path for them.
Yeah.
Right. Not to stop their path by providing just financially.
Yeah.
So, and then I've never thought of it that way with children too. Like I've done it that way of, hey, this isn't good for you. You don't need this. But just breaking it down, I mean, my mind a lot of times works in ones and zeros.
Yeah.
So need in one is a 1 and a 0.
Yeah.
Right. So if I say, like, if my older daughter says, I want ice cream, is that a 1 or a 0?
Yeah.
Right. A 0 being a 1 being a need. Okay. Well, that's a 0. I'm tired. I need a nap. That's a 1. Yeah. It's a resounding 1.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? That's super cool. And, you know, I want to dive into a little bit more of, and all the other disciples said the same, because we'll see when when Jesus, you know, gets arrested here, all of them flee.
Yeah.
And all the other disciples said the same, I'll never leave you. And they all fled.
Yeah.
And I wonder, because it says Peter declared, even if I have to die with you, I'll never disown you. And all the other disciples said the same. He created a mindset, potentially, the way I read it, he created a mindset that allowed the other disciples to gain confidence and say, I'm the same. And he's created that false belief for not only himself out of a 1, but they wanted what Peter wanted because it sounded good to them.
Yeah.
And that means we have to control our words around others.
Yes.
And separate the needs from the wants.
Yes. And that's groupthink. And we all are subject to that.
Right.
Right. So when we're influenced by someone that we know, someone who has proximity to us, someone who is successful, someone we look up to, we're much more prone to the groupthink.
Yes.
And like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's do that. And I'll take it back towards, pop culture right now. Well, it's pop culture trendy to do a lot of things that are really bad for us and bad for our families, bad for our children, bad for the community. But it's cool because everyone else is doing it. And that then becomes this movement, right? Where, humans and families are more and more disavowing the correct path, which is, again, to Christ. They might not see it that way, but that's the way it is. But they're disavowing that for these more, carnal pleasures of the world, whatever's easy and convenient and fun, and right. It's all very fleeting, right? But it's all this groupthink mentality. And to unplug from that and to really think about, is it want or a need? And what is the long-term implication of this? And I think that discernment is missing a lot in society, unfortunately. And not that I'm, foreign to that myself, of course, imperfect.
Yeah. I mean, great points. Goodness. There's times on both of these podcasts, if we shot, where I just want to pause and just let things soak in. Oh. Yeah, we can't have dead space on a podcast.
You cannot.
So we're going to keep moving.
Yes.
Goodness, man. But I love this. So anyway, Jesus gets arrested. When he says this very night before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. Yeah. So that happens.
Yeah.
And then Peter runs away weeping.
Yeah.
Right. So the interesting thing is Jesus doesn't delay. He says this very night.
Yeah.
Consequences can come quick.
Oh, man.
So you go back to, I left that once. You are the Christ. I'm going to make you this promise. Yep. I fail. Imagine how he felt.
The shame, the guilt.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And none of us want to feel that.
No.
So it's to me, it's motivation. You can feel the pain. I mean, this is the Christ, and you have made him face to face a promise and failed.
Yeah. That same night.
Yeah. The same
hours
night.
later.
What a whirlwind of emotion, of like a confidence, an adrenaline, probably a little bit, to like a complete letdown. Right. And that, again, it's like, I'm thankful this happened, because I don't want that. Whatever it says in the Bible, let your yeses be yeses, your noes be noes.
Yes.
So an overpromise applies to that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's like, I need to make sure my yeses are something I can accomplish, and that my noes are something that I'm going to be sure of.
Yes.
And I'm going to stand behind both of those. Right. So we go through here, obviously Jesus is crucified, comes back. But the beauty of it is Jesus comes back to Peter. to Simon Peter. And it tells him it's okay.
Yeah.
Grace.
Yeah.
Right?
What a lesson that is for all of us, right?
Yeah, but can you imagine the relief? Like, haven't you been in situations before where like, man, this is like going to ruin my life?
Yeah.
Something you've screwed up. A lot of times an overpromise.
Yeah.
And then you get some good news that things are going to be okay. And you just feel like the weight lifted. Now imagine if we let Christ do that for us, like Peter did for him. The amount of lightness and happiness. And I think that's really where you find peace and love, right? Is I have been in situations, there's no other explanation than Jesus saved me from those situations. And the relief you feel. So I'm thankful that Simon Peter got the feels. I don't want to go through that situation to get that relief.
Yeah.
But what a lesson.
Yeah, absolutely. And how good does it feel to tell the truth? Even if it's a bad answer.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to telling a lie, but saying the thing you think the person wants to hear.
Yeah. When you say the truth, the job ends.
Yeah.
When you say a lie, you have so much more work to turn that lie into the truth.
Yeah.
And that's just not right. I don't know how else to say it.
And you feel it. You physically carry it, right?
Yeah.
With you. And it's such an interesting story and experience to go through that. But then the forgiveness of Christ, right? I mean, to forgive Peter in that moment.
Yeah.
Right. And then for us to think about, the things that we've done, have we betrayed Christ? Right before he was, no, my goodness, for hopefully most of us, we haven't done anything such as that.
But we do when we sin.
Yeah.
Right. So we are all Simon Peter.
Yeah.
Whenever I accepted Jesus into my heart, I promised to follow him. Every time I sin, I'm falling short of following him.
Yeah.
Every time I sin, I'm doing what Simon Peter did. My intentions were good. I've made a promise, thank God for grace, and for mercy.
Yeah.
But Jesus came back to Simon Peter. I know Jesus is always with me.
Yeah.
And that's reassuring.
Absolutely.
Right. Wow. I'll be honest. When we started this, I was like, I think this is good.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it, but some of the sidebars we've had have been super valuable. Like when I was in the middle of this, I was praying, I was like, God, I need a step in the right direction, and then I heard want and need. I was like,
Yeah.
So this has been really powerful. Is there anything else on this that you'd like to talk about?
The want and need, that is my guiding light as fatherhood and as a husband. Because I'm always tasked with the wants and the needs of my family and what is my role to deliver those.
Yeah.
So I really do spend a lot of time focusing on what is in the best interest of my family, because we are the protectors, not just the providers, right? We are the protectors of our family. We have the authority to do so, the responsibility, because that trust has been given to us by our wives and by our children.
Yeah.
So I take that very seriously. What do they need, and what do they need from me? And oftentimes that's the opposite of what my ego wants to provide. Yeah. Right. So then it's like, then it hopefully will give me the path to become a better man, better husband, better father as a result of. So that want and need is a constant theme in my life.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. So from this,
yes,
we are going to be as self-aware as possible, to not overpromise,
yes,
and to evaluate wants and needs, especially as they apply to God's guidance.
Absolutely.
So as we follow through, my want and need will be defined by what God has told me to do. That's how I know what a want is. That's how I know what a need is.
Yeah.
And we're going to not provide destruction, because we will manage our overpromising to the Lord and to everyone in our lives. And I do think if you don't overpromise, you tell the truth, and you can do that, that's a pretty strong way to be a light in this world and to be a witness.
Absolutely. Because then everything you do is bonus.
Yeah.
Right. So if I don't, like in business, do not overpromise, always overdeliver. How can you run a bad business that way?
Right.
Like every promise you make is maybe less than that you can do. So you give yourself the space to at least meet that minimum, but always go out of your way to do more.
Yeah.
Right.
And we can talk, I mean, we haven't, in these podcasts, we haven't even hit at too much of what you do and what you've done, right? As far as who you've trained, what you have accomplished as a trainer with your own personal health and so on. But I'm going to dive into that for a moment because I overpromise my body things all the time in the gym.
Okay.
You know, like we're talking about, I'm going to run 10 miles today. Well, that's going to destroy my body. Yeah. So I'm overpromising what my body can handle. Or I'm going to go in and bench 225 15 times. Okay. Yeah. But then my past separated shoulders are going to be demolished.
Yeah.
You know, so it applies to every aspect of your life, you know, and I feel like you've gone through that of what your athletes in a cutting phase can accomplish.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, are we allowed to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
can we talk? Because,
open.
You know, Ronda Rousey changed MMA.
Yes.
Absolutely changed it.
Yeah.
You know, and that a lot of that was you behind the scenes of keeping her healthy so she could perform in the ring. And then she had the personality, obviously, to handle all of that.
Yes.
Right. And so you had to evaluate her success rate and not overpromise what she could accomplish.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. My job was to provide what she needs, not what she wants, right? To use that, right?
Yeah.
Very simply. And to ensure my job was to serve her in becoming her best version of herself.
Right.
My job was not to make her the version I thought she should be. Right. So, and I always took that approach with my athletes is I need to help them become the best version of themselves in all ways. And I used to say, and I still do, it's not about the chicken and the rice, right? Most people think about the chicken and the rice, and that is the least important part of health, fitness, weight management, athletic performance. It's psychology, it's emotion. Yeah. That's right. It's how do I see myself? How do I see myself in the world? How then do I foster these relationships with food and exercise and all these other habits, right? Mm-hmm. So with the great athletes like Rhonda, you know, my job was very, very challenging, but easy at the same time. You know, she was very clear about where she wanted to go, what she wanted to do. And then it was my job to fulfill that and help her get there without providing the distractions or the unnecessary hurdles that wants often bring in. Hey, you know, we're 3 weeks out and, you know, there's maybe a party going on or it's a holiday. What should I eat that day? Like, well, you know, some others might capitulate and say, well, you know, you can go ahead and have some birthday cake or the thing, whatever that thing might be. But boy, that's going to make the next week a heck of a lot harder for someone who's aspiring to be the most dominant female world champion in the history of the sport. Yeah. Right. So then I needed to say, hey, we got to keep on task here. We got to stay focused. We're keeping it to, let's say baseline menu per se, instead of, you can't go out and celebrate 17 days before a world title fight. You can celebrate the night after.
Yeah, after you've won the world title because you did your needs not once.
Exactly. And it's one versus need. So, I think all things, in that realm can boil down to that.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we're going to do this, Shima, but I'm going to close with this comment from my side is Jesus is all that we need and everything else is a want. Yes. And so that's where the mindset starts.
I love that.
Right.
The bookend right there.
Yeah. If I can't drop this microphone. That would be my attempt at a microphone drop, but these are kind of stagnant.
And they're expensive, so don't do that.
Yeah. I have to go to Amazon, buy another one. All right. You want to jump into the Shima?
Yes.
Do you remember it?
I do not. No, I'm slow to retain information, but I know the way it makes me feel. So
yeah, well,
I'll follow along.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like I have trouble memorizing verses too. I can reference a lot of verses, but I always love to see the pastors and teachers out there saying, Matthew 4 says this, this, and this. And I'm like, man, that's cool. For me, I'm like, somewhere in Matthew, it says this, but I think it's just the way we've been wired. And it's the way, like I've been hardwired to communicate that way.
Okay.
And I think that relates to a certain audience. I think the way they speak relates to a certain audience, and together we get a bigger audience.
That's right.
So there it is. But here we go. You ready?
Yes.
Deuteronomy 6:4-9, Shema. The Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the doorframes of your houses and on your gates.
Amen.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Round 2. How many rounds are in an MMA fight? 5 or 3?
World title fight, 5 rounds.
Yeah. So we got 3 more of these to do.
At least.
Yeah.
And then we got to defend.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I guess we're just starting.
So we're just getting started, my man.
Yeah. Gosh, well, I'm thankful for you, and thanks for the education today. The needs and wants. I love it.
Love it, man. Well, thank you for having me. Always appreciate getting so much out of this.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right.
All right. Cool.